So, how did you all actually come together as a team? How did you come to be working with Chris as the producer?
Well, I, I had been very interested in doing a film on plastics affecting our oceans, and a friend of mine said that she knew of a filmmaker who was starting uh, to document. She knew of a photographer that was starting the process of documenting uh, footage to make into a documentary film. And one thing led to another, and we were connected, and that was that.
Okay, so when it came to doing the Kickstarter campaign itself, how did you decide who was doing what? How did you actually go about putting the campaign together?
Well, we put the, again, we really carefully researched um, what our goal should be, how we would attain our goal, and we really had a plan in place prior to engaging with Kickstarter and putting up our campaign. So we were, my assistant and I were emailing every conceivable blogger. We were tweeting. We were engaging our fans on Facebook. We started kind of prepping, especially with the bloggers, before the campaign went live.
Now, I noticed that in the campaign description itself that you had descriptions in not only English but also French, Spanish, and Portuguese. Uh,
Yes.
w- were those specific languages chosen for any strategic purpose, or was it that you just happened to have people on your team who spoke them? And did you get any sense of how much like having these extra languages played into the effectiveness of your campaign?
Well, we actually went by the statistics that Facebook and Vimeo and YouTube gives us.
Mm.
So, for instance, all of our video blog posts on Vimeo and YouTube, they give us exact statistics of what countries the views are coming from. And we saw that the majority of views were coming from France, Spain, other Spanish-speaking countries, um, and Portuguese-speaking countries, obviously, including Brazil and Portugal. That's exactly why we chose those languages. On Facebook, we have hundreds of new friends added daily to our 40,000 member fan base. And we noticed that a lot of the people are writing us little messages, and they're in Spanish or Portuguese or in French. So it was just for us the logical choice to make sure that on Kickstarter we had as much as possible translated into these other languages. I mean, we wish going forward, and we hope that our film is actually narrated in probably at least 10 different languages,
Mm.
because we want the world to see what is happening to our oceans through the albatross.
Absolutely. I mean, after all, this is clearly an issue that affects people across all kind of national and cultural boundaries.
Yes.
So, I also noticed in your campaign, as a number of campaigns do, you gave people the option to be pledging to the campaign by PayPal.
Hmm.
Uh, Now, I'd like to ask you firstly what the main idea behind having a second option, other than straight through Kickstarter, was, and secondly, also if that kind of led to any other sort of complications, like obviously if people donate through PayPal, clearly it doesn't, it's not included in your total, which on Kickstarter can mean the difference between getting funded or not.
Right. We set that up because Kickstarter only uses Amazon, so all payments go through Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And early on, we had a few emails from people from France and I believe it was Spain that had difficulty logging on to Amazon and paying through Amazon, or Amazon taking their Visa MasterCards as a donation. So we set up a PayPal account for the purpose of just making it easier for mostly European contributors.
Okay, and do you know if Kickstarter themselves had any? I'm presuming they didn't have any issues with this.
No,
but
they have no issue with it because currently they only have a deal with Amazon. They actually told me that they are trying to work out something in the future that people could select Amazon or PayPal, but I guess the initial deal in place with them is with Amazon only, or their partnership, I should say. So, no, they had no issue whatsoever, and we, made it very clear on our campaign page on Kickstarter that people had the option, knowing that we were taking a little bit of a risk if we didn't make our goal. I mean, in the end of the day, very little money went through PayPal, and the majority was through Amazon and through Kickstarter.
Okay, if you had to guess, a rough percentage, do you think it would be 5%, 10%?
Probably about 5 or 6%, something like that. Definitely not 10, lower than 10.
Okay. So when you're actually running the campaign itself, after it's launched, we often hear from people that they were surprised at, just how much work it took while the campaign was going. Where were you finding most of your actual time going in the actual running of the campaign after it had launched?
Oh, we were completely, every day there was a plan in place of bloggers that we were reaching out to write about our campaign. We were writing to all of our personal friends via email, via Facebook, via Twitter. We were asking organizations on Facebook to post our Kickstarter campaign link on their Facebook page. It was really a collaboration of our small team reaching out, and then many, many organizations and bloggers reciprocating by very generously and kindly, putting up our post for our campaign. So it takes a village.